Sometimes the tough things in life come to teach us a lesson, and sometimes they come to redirect us back to our happy place. Whichever one it is, we have to take the good with the bad, learn to be appreciative, and learn true happiness. Welcome to Mocha Homestead.
It's snowing.
Welcome back to Mocha Homestead. Today we are talking about herbs and the herbs that I will be growing in the 2025 season. I have my trusty seed organizers here, and we're going to go through all of the herbs that I am going to be growing this year. So the first herb that I want to talk about is basil. You guys, I have so many different kinds of basil. I have lemon basil, lime basil, I have holy basil. Let's see, I have Genovese basil. I have organic red Reuben basil. I have Mrs. Burns lemon basil. I'm not sure if regular lemon basil and Mrs. Burns are different, but I have that. I also have, I dropped a seed packet. I have sweet Italian basil and cinnamon basil. So for this year, we will be doing the sweet Italian basil. I will be growing again cinnamon basil. And I will be growing lemon basil. I'm going to try the Mrs. Burns this year. I'm not sure again if there's a difference. I'm not going to grow the lime basil this year. I didn't really care for that one too much. So I'm not going to be growing that one this year. And I'm not going to be growing the red Reuben basil just because I didn't really use as much of that last year. So I'm going to try to save space for the things that I use a lot. Now, there is another basil that I have not mentioned, which is Tulsi basil, and also known as holy basil. Now, Tulsi basil I use as a tea. I don't cook with that one. I use that one as a tea, and it is amazing. It is said to have the same or similar medicinal properties as lemon balm. So, if you like lemon balm and you like those medicinal properties, then you should look into holy basil. The next thing we're going to look at is rosemary. I will be growing more rosemary this year, and hopefully I will be able to keep it alive. I kill my rosemary every year. Not sure why. I have a friend who has a rosemary bush in his yard, and he loves it, and I'm trying to get it to where mine will stay alive long enough to be a bush. So we will see this year. I will be growing parsley. I love, 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 love Italian parsley. I grow that every year in a grow bag, a huge grow bag of parsley because I love it so much. Lemon balm, we discussed that one. I love lemon balm as well. I use this as a tea. I dry the leaves every year and have a lot of that. So we're going to see if I can grow more of that this year because I'm almost out. Tarragon. I am going to try to grow tarragon. so that I can have it on hand. I hear it's a really good herb. I've never used it before, but I am going to try to give that a try this year. Thyme. I will be growing thyme this year. I have started cooking more with thyme this year, more in like soups and savory meals. And I do realize that I like the flavor, so I am going to be growing a lot more thyme this year, so that I can have that in my cabinet. Of course, oregano. We will be growing oregano this year. I do use a lot of oregano in my cooking as well. Sage is one that is a regular in my garden every year. And dill. I will be growing dill this year as well. I like to do a lot of pickling, so dill comes in handy when you like to do a lot of pickling. The next one is cilantro. I use cilantro a lot. I had a ton of cilantro last year that popped up. After I thought that it had not germinated, it just randomly popped up and there was a ton of it because I reseeded. So I had a lot of cilantro last year to make salsa and other dishes, and I really enjoyed the cilantro flavor in a lot of my Mexican dishes. So I will be growing cilantro again this year. Peppermint. Peppermint is a staple in my garden. It is actually a perennial, so I have some seeds for peppermint if I want to grow like an additional pot of peppermint, but my peppermint grows every year. It comes back, and it's bigger and fuller every year. So I have it in a grow bag on my deck, and you guys will see that further into the spring, but I have all of my mint in grow bags on my deck to make it easier for me to grab them. I use those in teas mostly. I have peppermint, I have orange mint, and I have chocolate mint that I really enjoy making teas out of. And I am looking for some additional mint flavors to see if I like those as well. So we will see if I can find some of those at my local farmer's market or at my local feed and seed nursery. Stevia. So I have seeds for stevia, but for me, stevia has been really hard to grow from seed. I have had to every year get a plant from my local nursery. I am going to try again this year to grow it from seed. And I'm going to adjust some of the things that I do to try to see if I can get that to work for me. Because while I enjoy supporting my local nursery, it is kind of expensive to buy stevia every year when I have the seeds at a fraction of the cost. Okay. So I am moving on. Those were most of my culinary herbs and things that I make teas out of. These are going to be some medicinal herbs that I am going to try to do this year. Anise. I've never grown this. I am actually starting a couple of medicinal beds this year because I am learning to do a lot of herbalism and things like that on the off season. So, and this is my daughter Olivia. I am trying to learn a lot of herbalism. So I am growing some things that I have learned about just so that I can try them out, see how they work for me before I recommend them for anybody else. Hyssop.
Hyssop?
I am going to grow hyssop.
I love hyssop. I watch
it. Let's see. The next one. Lemongrass. I love the smell of lemongrass. I will be growing lemongrass this year. Let me see if it will focus in.
Mama, can I smell that?
The next herb that I will be growing is yarrow. I heard some good things about yarrow, and so I am going to be growing that this year to see, it's not focusing, to see if I can get that to grow. Echinacea. I will be doing echinacea, also known as purple coneflower. I will be growing that this year as well. Let's see. Sorry, y'all, I have a ton of herb seeds. Ashwagandha is one that I'm going to try to grow this year. I have heard some good things about this one as well, so I am going to give it a try, as well as valerian. And toothache plant. I am really, really excited to try this one to see if I can make some tinctures or things to help with pain relief. And let's go to the next container and see what we have in here. So I have a ton of holy basil. These are probably all of my holy basil seeds. As you can see, I have a ton of holy basil because I love it. So we will see how much of that I can harvest this year. I did do a lot of it last year, but not enough to have tea through the winter. So I'm going to try to double my production and see how that works. Moringa. I do already have some freeze-dried moringa in a powder form, but I am going to try to grow the actual plant. I read somewhere that moringa leaves fresh are really good for you, so I plan on trying to use those in smoothies. Goldenrod. I had goldenrod pop up in my backyard. Don't know where it came from, but it was just one lonely goldenrod. And by the time I went to harvest it, it had already died for the season. So I'm going to try to grow some more goldenrod. I hear it's beneficial to help with allergies, but don't quote me on that. I believe that's what I read. So I am going to be growing that. Mullein. We have seasonal allergies here, and I read that mullein is really good with helping with mucus and getting rid of mucus and things like that. So I want to have that on hand to try to make some type of tincture or something to help us with that during the winter season and during just the allergy season, because here in Tennessee my allergies are really bad, and so are my daughters. So I want to be able to help soothe that when we have really bad allergies. Chamomile. You guys, I am a huge chamomile. Let me show you the one that I'm growing. I'm growing German chamomile. I have some Roman chamomile, but I have read that Roman chamomile tends to be bitter in tea, more so than German chamomile. So I will be growing the German chamomile this year, more so. I have some chamomile tea already, but you guys, I am running through that, and I'm probably won't have any by the beginning of the season, so I will be growing a lot of chamomile this year. Lavender. I have some lavender that I harvested last year that I have in a jar. I have not used it yet, but I want to try to use it in things like little sachets around the house just for like the smell of the lavender. I'm not really well versed on if it has any medicinal properties or anything like that, but I am going to continue to grow it because I like the smell of lavender. I also want to learn how to make soap, and so I think lavender is really good. My daughter has some lavender body wash, and it helps her calm her and put her to sleep. So I want to try to make soap, some natural soaps with the lavender in it from my garden. The next one is borage. I will be growing borage as well. It is a really pretty flower, if you can see. I grew it the year before last, and I really, really like the way the flowers looked. I had not looked into the medicinal properties yet. I do know that there are some medicinal properties, but I like the way the flowers looked. So I'm going to try to harvest more of that and see what the medicinal properties are so that I can use it properly. Feverfew. I will be growing feverfew this year in my medicinal beds as well. I hear that one is a really good one to have on hand. So I'm going to add it to my stash. And once I am well versed on the medicinal properties, I will already have herbs that I can use. So those are, I believe, all of the herbs. In a previous video, I talked to you guys about the free heirloom seeds, and I ordered, and within a week I had all of my seeds. So basically, if you give a donation of $10, they will send you 10 packs of seeds. It's not required that you do the donation, but if you don't, you're not guaranteed to receive the seeds. I usually try to give a little bit more than 10 just to try to help out anybody who can't afford to pay the $10. So the ones that I got were Marconi Golden Sweet Pepper, Marconi Red Sweet Pepper, Jimmy Nordello, shishito peppers, Texas A&M Jalapeno Pepper, Mullen, Calendula, the alpha variety. Calendula is also something else that I'm going to be growing this year. The white yarrow, sweet marjoram, which is an herb that is not in my toolkit already. This is a new herb that I'm going to be trying out. And horehound. I'm not sure that I'm going to grow horehound this year. I need to do a little bit more research on it before I grow it. But I bought it because it was one of the options and I was interested in testing it out. So those are all of the herbs that I will be growing this year. If you have some favorite herbs that you want to suggest, put those down in the comment section.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel. Bye.